The whole trajectory of the Daystar empire completely shattered inside a quiet hospital room in May 2026, at least according to an explosive, game-changing report by the Roy's Report. Insiders are calling it a moment of profound spiritual awakening, an altar call of sorts on Joni Lamb's deathbed. The Roy's Report divulged that a well-known family friend, someone deeply trusted by both Jonathan and Susie Lamb, stepped directly into the inner circle during Joni's final hours. This friend witnessed a total change of heart in the dying matriarch and went straight to Daystar board member Tom Calendar with a definitive message. Joni's final decision from her deathbed was crystal clear: if Jonathan were to reach out, give him Daystar. This changes absolutely everything. It shatters the entire narrative of cold, calculated revenge. It proves that in the presence of eternity, a mother's love is infinitely more powerful than any multi-million-dollar struggle for control. It shows that beneath the years of corporate warfare, lawsuits, and public exiles, the bond of blood and the desire for true family redemption outweighed the kingdom itself. Joni's final act wasn't about protecting the network, it was about rescuing her son. This is what Jonathan himself had to say about it. Learning that my mother's final wish was for me to return to Daystar is both healing and deeply confirming. The estrangement between us was one of the most painful seasons of my life. And knowing that her heart moved towards restoration in her final days brings me a peace I didn't expect to feel so soon. Her wish aligns with what my father communicated to our family and the board in his own succession plan. Both of my parents in their final days pointed in the same direction. In closing, this is what he said. I am hopeful that the board will honor what my mother asked for, and what my father asked for before her. Daystar has never belonged to any one person. It belongs to God, with a mission they sacrificed so much to advance. I trust the board will carefully consider the legacy my parents left behind and the future they hope to secure. I remain ready to serve. But here is where the story takes a sharp, cynical twist. The board didn't just stand by and let a deathbed reconciliation happen. Word leaked that Tom Calendar went straight to his social media page, dropping a public denial message to manage the fallout. Calendar actively pushed back against the narrative, spinning the situation to the public. He suggested that the board's actual directive wasn't to hand the keys over to the exiled heir. Instead, Calendar claimed the board chose to adopt a specific method of administration, one they argued Joni herself put in place during Jonathan's long absence from the network. According to his version of the story, Joni had already established a system where she ran Daystar jointly and equally with the board of directors. By framing it this way, Calendar is trying to neutralize the deathbed wish and solidify a corporate regency, making it look like they are simply honoring Joni's past administrative choices rather than blocking her final dying wish. Let that sink in for a moment. A corporate board denying the final deathbed wishes of the network's founder. Does that sound familiar? Because if we flip back the script to 2021, we see the exact same game being played. When the network's patriarch Marcus Lamb passed away, his official directive was documented and clear. He said, and I quote, "If Joni passes, Jonathan becomes president." But what happened? The narrative was spun, the files were tucked away, and Jonathan was systematically pushed out of his own birthright. Talk about playing a dangerous game. When Joni Lamb kicked Jonathan out of Daystar, she thought she was just winning a family argument. She wanted to bend him to her will, pull his strings, and force him to fall in line. But she didn't see the massive blind spot. By cutting the rightful heir out of the family business, she left the kingdom totally unprotected. Fast forward to today, and the ultimate irony has locked into place. The very corporate board she used to sideline her son has now taken over the castle. The Lamb family dynasty isn't just fractured, it is at risk of being completely swallowed up, and according to everything leaking from the inside, we are now looking at an absolute civil war over Marcus Lamb's legacy. In one corner, you've got Jonathan Lamb, armed with his mother's final deathbed breakthrough and a claim to a birthright he believes was stolen from him. In the other corner stands Tom Calendar and a defensive board of directors, using social media statements, corporate bylaws, and past administrative policies to lock the gates. Joni's final request has left Daystar hanging by a thread, and sources say the tension behind closed doors is at a total boiling point. Will Jonathan make the call and fight to get his father's pulpit back? Or will Tom Calendar's boardroom regime succeed in locking the family out for good? The throne is empty, the gloves are off, and our sources say the real battle for Daystar has only just begun.